Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another Chart Nerd TA video. Today we're going to be covering Algorand on the 4-hour time frame and the 1-hour time frame, and just going off some sort of patterns right now and indications that may point towards some sort of further retracement here for Algo. And I'm going to show you some indicators today that are indicating some indicators that are potentially giving us the heads up. Okay, you know, we may be coming back down for a bit more of a retracement. Bitcoin may have topped a little bit on its larger time frames, and on the smaller ones we may be coming for some sort of pullback, and already you can see that we have had over the past day or two, Algo's come down actually 12% in that time. It is back up, currently sitting at around 23 cents, but you know, overall down 10% or so. Now what you'll notice is that Bitcoin will fall down a couple of percent, and what you'll see altcoins do is fall down probably 4, 5%, 6%, you know, different variations. But when Bitcoin has a small sort of pullback, altcoins do tend to bleed against Bitcoin, and a lot of alts also bleed against Ethereum. So what you're seeing right now is a larger pullback on altcoins. You know, we had one similarly not long ago. I'm going to go through that shortly, but you do get pullbacks within these uptrends. But we did not long ago have another pullback, and again Bitcoin bled out a little bit, but Algo suffered quite badly. It did make a recovery, which is very nice to see, and we did march on. But potentially, we have maybe run into some sort of resistance, and we are pulling back. But are we pulling back for support to load up and reach this $27? I wish it was $27. This 27-cent range is my sort of target for Algo to push up to, because if we see on the daily time frame, this area of support was key for us back in June. You know, we held all that support back until November, lost it, ran into the EMAs as resistance here on the daily, and sort of crashed and put in a new low. So right now I do think you know, you was bouncing off this support in June to November, you lost it. Right now you're coming back up and you're looking to retest this 27-cent range as resistance in my eyes. So if what I'm looking for in here on the 4-hour is potentially a pullback to support, and I'm going to show you that level of support right now. So that 27-cent range is my target currently speaking, okay, until we get confirmation that we are potentially entering a larger correction. Until then, that is my potential target. So we're retracing from this high right here, retracing back down to this low. If we get a fib on, you can see right now that potentially the range I'd be looking to get in at is between the 0.618 and the 0.50. We have come back down and wicked past the 0.50. Now this indicates to me that potentially we're running back into EMAs, we're getting coiled up here, and we may lose support and potentially come in for a bit more of a pullback here, which would total, if Algorand did go from this high retracing to the 0.618 for support at 22 cents, a 13% correction. Again, the correction we previously had and where we met resistance was around a 14% correction, and we still managed to get back above the EMAs and maintain the trend. So not all hope is lost. We are evidently coming in for some sort of pullback. On the 4-hour here, you can see that we are running back into this 10 EMA and getting rejected, so to speak, and we have got a death cross on the 10 and the 20 here, which indicates, okay, you've lost support, you're running into these EMAs, potentially you are looking to come back for a level of support, which for me again sits at this 22 cents. Just to get that in your charts, guys, 22 cents would be a nice area of support. You can see that it was previous support before this correction here where you eventually broke out. So right now it'd be nice to come back and back test that to get continuation up towards that 27-cent area and maintain this uptrend. So in my eyes, yeah, that 22-cent range, okay, which was previous support back here in the earlier days of January this month. Again, it wouldn't surprise me to come back down here and back test it again for support in the near future. So do look for that area, guys, at 22 cents. And as I said, you have got this death cross on the 10 and the 20. The last time you did get that, you did put in, I think it was from that death cross there was a 10% correction. So if we just give a rough estimate here, get just a thought experiment from this death cross, if we're to come down 10%, you can see it would actually bring you further down and potentially back test. This is a very key area of support actually that's quite interesting to me if we did fall down that 10%. So I'm going to get this Fibonacci off for a second. But if we did come down to that 10-cent area, again, you would be coming back to quite a nice level of support, because Algo was in this uptrend, okay, he was maintaining above the EMAs, coming back to them for support, and at this point you topped out. You put in some sort of double M top pattern here, okay, or inverse, sorry, a head and shoulders actually. I think this was a head and shoulders, if I'm correct. I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit and see what was going on with this previous correction. But you can see you had some sort of left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder, and you had a level of support that was being held. for Algo here on the 4 hour. So we can kind of, I think this may tie up, to be fair. You can see that when that support was actually lost, Algorand did come down and meet that technical target to a T, actually, at 20 cents. Okay, so this was some sort of head and shoulders in my eyes. You lost support of that head and shoulders, and you basically put in that low, and then you got back above the EMAs, and this continued your uptrend. So right now, we're going to look on the 1 hour and see if we are putting in some sort of, this pattern right here is some sort of top pattern similar to this was, where you've put in a correction from that, and right now potentially you've lost support and are putting in a correction very similar to what you witnessed here for Algo, and we do manage to get back above the EMAs. So it's not something we haven't seen previously within the charts for Algorand, to be fair. You know, as I said on the second week of January this year. So what could be indicating to us on the 1 hour that potentially we could look for a target? Well, let's have a look. Right, yeah, so on the 1 hour time frame, you can see here that you had this ascending level of support for Algorand, and you had this level of resistance that you created for yourself. So you was in some sort of, and as we said, an uptrend, but you was in some sort of rising channel here, coming up to highs. You met resistance, you came down, lost the support zone, and then this is where you formed the death cross on the 1 hour. You ran it into resistance, and then this is where you've come down. So right now, we still are under these EMAs, and I do think we are retracing back down to this 22.9 cent area on the 1 hour time frame. If that is lost, I think we would be looking for some sort of potentially a larger pullback. You could say that this is potentially starting to form maybe some sort of descending triangle where we've got this sort of base of support right now. You can see on the 1 hour that this is a fairly keen area of support around that 23 cent mark as a rough estimate. Potentially we could be looking to coil up here, and if we do start hitting our heads on these EMAs as they're coming down and continue to hit our heads on them and get rejected and lose this support of 23 cents, I do think that we'll have a potential target to the downside from there to there. And you see when you do lose support, potentially that again, that does give us that back test to around 22 cents. And this is what I was talking about earlier, potentially that this area would be a very keen area of support for me, because it was as we said, you had the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder here. Okay, you lost support of this and you met your target, and then you've got back above that support. But since you've broken back above that previous since you've broke back above this previous support that was being held here, okay, you haven't actually back tested it as resistance. So right now we potentially could coil up, come back test that 22 cent area for support, and then get your coil up, and you would have to tackle above this 26 cents range to confirm that 27 cent target that I had back into the earlier stages of the video. So it's quite evident to see, as I said, you had this head and shoulders, you had this level of support. Okay, you lost the head and shoulders, and you actually met the target from the breakdown. Since then, you got back above the EMAs. You broke out of the previous support that was looking to be resistance. You melted through it. You didn't come back to it for support. So right now, from this pattern, if we do lose 23 cents and start to come down and close below 23 cents, I would be looking to go short down to that 22 cent area. And I think that, again, that is the 0.618. If we get the fib on right now, this might give some confluence. Retracing from that high back to that low. Yeah, you can see that between the 0.618 and the 702 is that rough sort of target for me where Algorand potentially could come back to find support. So we are looking for that 22 to 22 cent area if we lose 23, and we could have a short up on our hands on the smaller time frames of roughly around 4 to 5%. At that point, I would like to see Algorand hold support. If we zoom out here, again, another bit of confluence that you may be able to give here is that from this low, you've got this level of support from this previous correction on the smaller time frames. So right now, potentially, Algorand is looking to pull back to this trend line, and it could do it quite quickly, to be fair. And if we did pull back to the trend line, again, it would be looking for that 0.618 target for support. But if we lost this trend line, okay, and we started to see multiple closes below it, I have to get it bang on here. If we started seeing multiple closes below this trend line and we come down, lose it, and hit our heads as resistance, I would be looking for a larger pullback. And at this point, this would be my target to look for 20 cents. And Algorand could come up, put in a lower high, and start retracing here. And this is if Bitcoin and Ethereum have deeper corrections. And, you know, this is some sort of wave 1 complete already. And right now, you are looking at a larger pullback for a wave 2 to get confirmation before we break out. Then these are the targets I would have for Algorand. Okay, if we started to come down and lose this trend line of support, lose this trend line of support, lose the 050 and 0618, okay, and meet this as resistance, I would be looking for a larger pullback back down towards 19 cents and my minimum target, back down to previous support that we have back tested. We had it as resistance, you came up, you broke out, back tested it. So again, it would act as a very strong area of support, but we do have, you know, not all hope is lost yet until we lose key support areas. The 22 cents is what I'm looking for. And essentially, if you do start to bounce here and get a lovely sort of touch up and a kiss and continue, then my target would be that 27 cent range, giving us a further opportunity from current price of roughly around a 14 to 15% long up. So that's my update today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. From Chartner TA, take care, guys. Peace out.